smoother experience to really balance that against. Its vantage point follows the car you're driving, like an actual athlete sees a game. It's a strange kind of realism that emerges from playing and watching Rocket League to be almost the same thing. The two big influences of Rocket League, racing games and sports games, are working in tandem to make Rocket League be more than the sum of its influences. They free the game from needing to make you a driver like Lewis Hamilton or a soccer player like Messi or Carly Lloyd, and instead can just be about finding the fun. This mixing of influences also represents a larger artistic movement called bricolage, which is the idea of making art out of various parts that you have on hand. There's this huge outdoor art project in Detroit called the Heidelberg Project. People have been gluing found objects to homes as decorations and enlivening streets, perfectly demonstrating this concept. I've been there myself. It's chaotic, disorienting, and absolutely incredible. And Rocket League is also bricolage in its use of game typologies. Like the Heidelberg Project, it reinvigorates things that have grown a little bit stale, if we're being honest, by combining them into something brand new. In this case, sports and driving games are being freed from their creative rut. So yes, there's a lot going on in Rocket League. The cars, the rockets, the sports, the crashes, all of that. But when you're remixing or engaging in bricolage, as Rocket League does, it makes sense to have a large palette to work with because it allows you to do different and exciting things. And the sign that it's all working, and the best part of Rocket League is that you're not thinking about all this work when you're playing. You're just finding the fun. So what do you think? Have I adequately explained what Rocket League is at a deep and existential level? Are there other games that use the bricolage technique that I talked about in the episode? Hash it out in the comments, and if you like what you saw, please subscribe. And if you get a chance, please check out our survey. I'm very interested in what you all think about the future of Game Show. I'll see you all next week. Hey everybody, so we've been working our way through the feedback that a lot of you left on the survey, and one of the things that came up was comments. Specifically, what role should comments play in the show? So while a lot of you really enjoy the fact that I answer comments in the the text below an individual video, the separate broken out comments response videos aren't quite so popular. So here's what we've decided to do. Rather than trying to have a separate standalone video, we're just going to answer 1 or 2 comments each week at the end of the episode, responding to what was the general tenor or what was one of the biggest questions from the previous week's episode. So hopefully that will sort of be able to meet both sides of the equation so you feel like you're being heard and also sort of respecting your time as well. Anyway, thanks so much for all the feedback. Camo says that the real confusion with watching a game like League of Legends is determining what you actually see on screen. So this is super tricky. One thing that makes the game so hard to grasp, particularly for newcomers, is this concept of vision. I talked about map awareness in the episode. This is sort of a related concept. There's actually a discrepancy between what players can see and what the audience can see. In League of Legends, it operates under this veil of a game mechanic called Fog of War, otherwise known as situational awareness. You've seen it in lots and lots of games. Stealth games use it all the time. Poker, for example, uses a variant of Fog of War. But what it means is that you can't see what the other team or person is doing except under certain conditions. So they're always doing stuff, so players in League of Legends or other MOBAs are always trying to do stuff to try to make the other team visible, like casting wards. It'd be very similar to, say, like the bluffing mechanic in a game of poker where you're trying to sort of discern what somebody else is doing and you're doing something special to try to flesh them out. But when an audience member is watching a match in League of Legends, they're in spectator mode. So they can see where all the players are at once. So you wouldn't necessarily have any idea of why a particular player might be casting spells. So this is a layer of strategy that you can totally miss out on if you haven't played the game for yourself. And yes, obviously casters can toggle that mode off and on, but then you're kind of at the mercy of what the caster is going to show you, and that's not always the best thing for newcomers who maybe want sort of a simple information to allow them to glean very quickly what's happening on screen. It's a tension that I think will be resolved in time. Poker obviously figured this out with the introduction of the whole cam, which allowed you to see the down cards, and maybe some similar innovation will happen in the world of esports as well.